This group is pretty far ahead of what we've seen at other events.
The adrenaline is so high.
Can the shape work? Can the... Rehearsals went terrible for me.
Pause, breathe, and then start again.
Getting within 6 minutes, that is a big challenge.
He was someone that needed like a 20-minute talk.
But you were not impressed, were you?
I'm heartbroken about this for him.
Democracy needs disagreement.
Oh my God, I have to restructure everything.
It's the things we call brain rot, right?
Viral material.
Your eyes are on fire.
This is it.
My name is Reggie Watts, and my life changed forever when I got the opportunity to speak at TED. Now, TED is searching the globe for ideas that could change everything. 9 TEDx events around the world, giving a global voice to the unknown. 6 minutes that can inspire, motivate, and change their lives forever. But that's not all. Coached by an expert panel, one lucky speaker will be surprised with the opportunity of a lifetime. A chance to speak on the TED main stage and have their voices heard by millions. This is the TED Idea Search. South America, and one of its cultural capitals, Buenos Aires. A city of rhythm, expression, and ideas fueled by passion. From across Argentina, a group of speakers have been chosen to take to the TEDx stage, to share ideas that could change the world.
Sharing my idea with the world would be very exciting. My name is Yael Krupnikov. I am 23 years old. I'm from Buenos Aires. I grew up on social media, especially finding community in social media around the things that I loved. My talk is about brain rot as a kind of social lubricant or emotional shorthand in political conflict situations for Gen Z. I think that a lot of the time, these things that we underestimate a lot, such as humor or art that we share through social media, can help us talk to each other in a common language, even when we are in situations where we disagree about a lot of things. And they can be really important keys to having those difficult conversations. Sharing my idea with the world on the TED main stage would be very exciting. This is a conversation that is fitting for a global stage, I guess, because it is a very global conversation.
If I would be selected to go to TED Vancouver, it would be such an honor.
Seeking a spot in TED in Vancouver, the responsibility is large, but I'm eager to take it.
With such a great opportunity on the line and 24 hours till showtime, the panel works closely with the speakers, helping finesse their talks and build confidence ahead of tomorrow's event.
This is 100% about us supporting you. You'll probably see a spectrum of preparedness, or some people may get up here and just nail it, some may not, but that's what today is for. It's okay. It's okay if you want to fully read your talk. It's okay if you stop and have notes. It does not matter. Today is a rehearsal day, and that is what rehearsals are for, and we are all here to support you, and we are all here to support one another.
Let's get that first rehearsal energy up for that big round of applause you're going to give to Yael.
It feels really nice to be navigating all this together with other people who are also excited and also afraid and also nervous.
I think that tomorrow is going to be a big day, a party of ideas from Argentina to the rest of the world.
This year, I traveled to Jerusalem to work as an instructor in a program called Meet with Palestinian and Israeli teenagers.
Yael has a really interesting talk that is a new way of thinking about social media. Also, probably most young people kind of know the thing that she's saying. It was new to me as a not young person. So how that plays in the room, I'll be interested to see.
They shared the same TikTok feed. Whatever language barriers or political differences they had could not begin to measure up to that. More than ever before, young people growing up on opposite sides of any given political conflict share the same culture.
Last night, I had a dream, and it seems that many speakers had the same dream. I dreamt that we had rehearsals. So I was wearing jeans and a hoodie, and I just came to the rehearsals, and then Kelly told me, no, today's the day, you have to go on stage. And I was like, no, but I'm not ready. I'm wearing jeans and a hoodie. I didn't think that today was the day. Letter forms are the gestures of language, our tone of voice in written form. My name is Martina Flor. I am passionate about opening the eyes of people to the world of letter forms. I'm going to talk about how the shape of words influences how we feel, what we trust, and how we move through the world. This idea is important to me because there are so many visual cues in the shape of the letters, in the visual images that we have around us that influence how we feel and the choices we make. Providing a global audience with that lens, the capability to see things that they couldn't see before, that's what I'm passionate about. I can draw the word love so it feels airy and spontaneous, or heavy and passionate, the kind your friends warn you about. Or heavy and passionate, the kind your friends warn you about. Rehearsals went terrible for me. Now, if shape can... They went terrible. I tripped into the middle of the talk and I forgot a few lines. Can the way words look? And you think like, oh no, my God, I have to restructure everything. Like this is not gonna land. And you go through all this roller coaster of emotions. Shapes influence an entire shape. If shape can influence a moment, it can influence the choice.
I'm really interested to see what Martina Flor does tomorrow, because today in rehearsals, I felt like she didn't quite connect with the people in the room, and I think that's because maybe she was nervous. This is not the first language for any of our speakers. And I think that raises the stakes even more because everybody's just communicating not in their first language.
I think you will be fine, but if this happens and you are struggling with the wording, my suggestion is to pause, breathe, and then start the sentence again.
I hope she goes home tonight. I hope she really practices that talk, and I feel like there's a good chance that tomorrow she surprises us with a really powerful, beautiful delivery.
Social media can be a superpower or a curse, but it undoubtedly has strengths we should harness. And yes, the downsides are real and worth talking about. I was very nervous. I don't think I was able to truly connect emotionally with the talk as much as I wanted, but overall the feedback was really positive.
In this first part of the talk, make more eye contact could maybe change the way you are studying that. But that's it, I think it's great.
The feedback is amazing. I felt a little bit in a talent show. And so all the things that you normally watch on TV, robots are assisting us today with the hardest parts of surgeries.
Alex had a great idea, but it was like so many ideas in one. He was someone that needed like a 20-minute talk.
I don't know if in the talk you ever explicitly said you were a surgeon. I kind of wanted that because in the beginning I thought you were just like purely musician. So then the switch kind of it was kind of a really delightful surprise, but I wish there was like a transition more into that.
I am Alejandro Nieponice. I am a surgeon from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I do a lot of work and research on robotic surgery. I will be sharing a very new concept that is called a virtual centralization. We are trying to help patients that need very specialized surgery and that they need to travel to get that surgery. With the help of robotic surgery and AI, we are trying to bring that surgery to them. but the music plays a really important role in my life because it helps to give empathy with my patients. Being on time with the music and the right words and getting within 6 minutes, that is a big challenge.
How are we on time? Oh, we're a little bit over.
But I wasn't slow, and I exchanged 2 paragraphs today because I don't remember them.
Okay.
The last 3 times I was 6 minutes short.
Okay, you probably should run through it a few more times.
I love Alejandro's talk, combining AI and the healthcare industry and music. It's a lot to put into 6 minutes. So I'm really interested to see how that one plays out in the room.
The biggest challenge for me preparing for this TED Talk has been enduring the ups and downs of preparing a talk like this, where you have 6 minutes and every word counts.
It's an interesting format in which we have to compact all of our ideas in 6 minutes.
800 people at the country fair tried to guess the weight of an ox. Each person was far off individually, as wrong as any of us would be.
So Joaquin's talk was about polarization, and most of the time you hear how awful polarization is, but he brought this really great perspective about why it actually could be a good thing.
Think about the sports fans from different rival teams. They hate each other, they fight over pride, but when they leave the stadium, they work and live together and build the country side by side. So disagreement, and even emotional disagreement, is clearly not the problem.
Hi, I'm Joaquin Navajas. I'm a behavioral scientist working at Universidad Itela in Buenos Aires, Argentina. My talk tomorrow is going to be about political polarization and political violence. It offers a new and quite controversial lens because we usually think about polarization as something bad, but I'm going to show that some aspects of polarization are actually good. This idea means a lot to me because it reflects on a change of mind that I had myself during the last decade. New research have led to this new idea that polarization is something not that we have to fight, but maybe something that we need to protect rather than fear, because it can help us live in more diverse society, and societies may flourish with polarization.
Because democracy needs disagreement. But disagreement without violence.
Wow, that was amazing. That was so cool. Like, I don't know, I feel like weirdly inspired.
You just deliver that so well. I like that it does make us think really differently, and it's challenging and it's sparky, and it's like, you know, you kind of want to go back and talk about this afterwards.
Thank you.
This group is pretty far ahead of what we've seen at other events.
The other talks were outstanding. They were truly amazing.
You all were amazing. I loved being an audience. I was much happier doing that than here. I respect these people and admire them so much and their way of thinking and looking at the world. So if they think that I'm doing something right, then I'll buy it, you know?
This one is going to be tough. I think it could be honestly anyone's game.
Whatever happens tomorrow, I think we already won because all the experience, the talks, being online, I think it's a winning situation no matter what.
I'm feeling good about tomorrow. I think all of us who are experts at what we do and what we're talking about, I think that when you need to perform, you perform. And tomorrow the big stage is gonna give that extra adrenaline and that extra push for us to do great.
A new day dawns in Buenos Aires. And with it, the moment our speakers have been preparing for.
An epic warehouse, home to the city's iconic opera sets, now becomes the stage for a different kind of performance.
With the TEDx stage built, the red circle awaits. Speakers rehearse for the first time, feeling the scale and history of this epic I
think walking onto the red dot is gonna feel like this roller coaster of emotions.
A unique moment that I hopefully will treasure for the rest of my life.
My hope is that I'm able to be present on the stage and be able to enjoy myself.
Fears and anxieties are probably to screw up.
My fears is that the talk won't resonate with people.
Fears, I would say, definitely the time. I'm so scared of going over time.
I will be precise on the music and the right tone and the right timing.
With tech rehearsals complete and the audience arriving, nerves are at an all-time high for our speakers.
So now we're just going to warm up our bodies and prepare to give our best selves.
If I were selected to go to Vancouver, it would be a dream come true.
Start down at our lower left leg, we're just going to tap our skin. Tap, tap, tap. Tap our legs all the way up, all the way up.
I would be very proud because it's an amazing achievement, and it would mean a lot to me to get a lot of people inspired.
And we're going to do some tongue twisters. Simple something said to me.
A simple something said to me.
It would be very exciting to represent my generation on that stage.
En un trigal tres tristes tigre tragaban trigo.
The adrenaline is so high.
1, 2, 3.
I need to change everything.
This is it.
With final checks complete, it's showtime in Buenos Aires.
Let's welcome Yael Krupnikov.
Oh my gosh, look at this venue. It's in a warehouse where they store props, and it's making this whole thing feel very cinematic. Kelly! Good job hosting.
Oh, thanks. I love this audience. I love this venue.
I know, and the audience looks ready to give the speakers their all.
So first step, we have Yael, who's gonna talk to us about social media actually as a unifier.
And she delivered in rehearsal yesterday.
She did really well yesterday in rehearsals.
6 years ago, when I was in high school, I gave a talk on a stage much like this one. I was asked to say what I thought Gen Z's superpower was, and my answer was politics. Specifically, our determination to politicize every aspect of our lives, including our relationships, and to confront anyone we knew was wrong. On October 7th, 2023, Hamas attacked Israel. One of my new friends posted an Instagram story celebrating these attacks, and when I replied, trying to explain my perspective as an Argentinian Jew, she blocked me. She was far from the only one. I was determined to live by that principle I'd so subscribed to as a teen, but it didn't serve me at all. That relentless demand for political purity was leading us all to instant judgment, and it left no room for nuance or conversation.
This is like kind of this great thing to have learned so early, you know?
So I went to try it again, this time straight to the middle of the conflict. This year, I traveled to Jerusalem to work as an instructor in a program called MEET with Palestinian and Israeli teenagers. I'd never met someone from the other side of the conflict before. When I arrived, though, I saw one of the Palestinian counselors was wearing a Taylor Swift t-shirt. And that was it. I realized I knew her. Not her literally, of course, but many others like her from Instagram and TikTok. We spent our first night together swapping tour stories, debating favorite eras, even blasting songs, screaming lyrics at each other like we were best friends. This didn't just happen to me. I saw it happen to the kids we were working with as well. These were 14-year-old Israelis and Palestinians. You would expect them to hate each other's guts. But here's the catch. They shared the same TikTok feed. This made me realize we have a unique opportunity. More than ever before, young people growing up on opposite sides of any given political conflict share the same culture, the same stupid little memes that we all look at all day long. It's the things we call brain rot, right? Mindless consumption.
I love that it's the same things we think of as brain rot, the things that we've all just decided are bad, have this good in them.
Mm-hmm. For me and my peers, Taylor Swift wasn't a distraction from politics. She was the entry point that made political discussion possible. Our shared language gave us cues for how to interact with each other in a way that wasn't stunted or threatening, and it created the safety that we needed to eventually have those hard conversations. What if that is where our generational superpower has been all along? Right now, the global conversation around teenagers and phones is dominated by fear. And the instinct, among many adults, is to just ban teens from social media altogether. And yes, the downsides are real and worth talking about. But they aren't the whole story. Social media can be a superpower or a curse, but it undoubtedly has strengths we should harness. So I'll keep speaking its language. I'll keep blasting the songs and sharing the memes. It may look like I'm wasting my time, but it may also just be changing my world. Thank you.
Flawless delivery, Yael.
So flawless.
Oh, that was
not one
well
hiccup.
done. Well done.
And the audience loves it.
Yeah, they do. They love her. My reservation on this is I love learning from her as an, I guess, older adult. I feel like learning from her, a young person, is incredible.
A good amount of people today have always grown up with social media, so it is just part of their worlds. And I think what she's saying might not be new to those people.
I feel very happy. I kind of want to cry for some reason, which is weird. I felt so warm and so loved, and it's so nice.
Next up, we have Joaquin, and this is kind of a sparky idea because I think he researches polarization, and he kind of had some surprising findings that I think are gonna provoke a lot of conversations.
It will maybe take in some people aback, but I don't know, he delivers it in such a beautiful way, it's hard to argue with him.
Would you try to solve a problem in mathematics by popular vote? Probably not. And if most people don't know much about math, why do we assume that they know better about politics? Those questions were asked by one of the best writers ever, Jorge Luis Borges. And they came in the aftermath of a military coup that led to the deadliest dictatorship in the history of my country, Argentina. Borges believed that democracy was a superstition, that it has no value. The idea is simple and even intuitive. If most people are uninformed about politics, then any collective outcome from that society has to be bad. Borges was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But he was also a human. And as a behavioral scientist, I know that humans, and even the most brilliant ones, often have wrong intuitions, especially when it comes to my field of expertise, collective intelligence. And this intuition of Borges was wrong. We know that because another brilliant person also felt the same way. Sir Francis Galton, the founding father of modern statistics, also believed that democracy was doomed because too many people were ignorant about political matters. But unlike Borges, he decided to test that belief. In 1906, he ran an experiment. 800 people at a country fair tried to guess the weight of an ox. Each person was far off individually, as wrong as any of us would be. But when he averaged all the guesses, the answer was almost exactly right. Without meaning to, he discovered something that today we call the wisdom of crowds. The idea that people can be wrong at the individual level, but collectively wise. So I decided to run my own experiment. So I thought about another question. How many jelly beans are there in a jar? But I added a twist. I framed the question so that half of the crowd would believe that there were too few, and the other half would believe that there were too many.
In other words, I created a perfectly polarized crowd with no moderates left in the room.
This jelly bean example is really clever way of making a story land, and a single slide does the job.
When I combined both groups, the too few and the too many, the average was closer to the truth than ever. So the collective mind of a divided crowd was wiser than that of a united one. What if our intuition about polarization being bad is wrong, is as wrong as the intuitions that Borges or Galton had before? And political scientists have long noted that with a healthy dose of polarization, societies may thrive. Citizens become more engaged, their choices become clear, and democracy itself becomes more diverse. The real danger begins somewhere else, not with polarization, but with political violence.
So it's kind of like polarization is good on some topics, except when there's hate.
And here's the key point. Political violence doesn't only happen in divided countries. It also happens in places where there's no polarization, simply because disagreement is not allowed. And my country learned that lesson the hard way. The dictatorship left thousands of families searching for their loved ones who never came back. Borges, the very same man who distrusted democracy, saw that tragedy unfold. He spoke out against the regime and later admitted, "The democracy of Argentina refuted me splendidly, amazingly." What refuted him wasn't an idea, not even an experiment. It was pain. It was real pain inflicted by political violence. So perhaps polarization is something that we might want to protect rather than fight or fear, because democracy needs disagreement, but disagreement without violence. Thank you.
I think some people will watch this and think he's wrong, but I do think it will spark conversation. I think it's a stance that people should know about.
He delivered that beautifully. I think it's a sparky one.
I do.
And a good one, and I could really imagine that playing so nicely in Vancouver.
If I were selected, it would be a dream. I really, really love the idea of engaging with that stage and being there. It would be truly, truly a dream.
Next up, we have Martina Flor. She's talking to us about letter forms and the impact that letter forms make on how we receive messages.
She has a lot of slides to click through. That was affecting her delivery yesterday and really connecting with us in the room. So I'm hoping she rehearsed that a bunch last night so she can just bring the audience together.
Imagine if starting today, every word you saw was written in Helvetica. Every bakery sign, every yogurt label. Imagine receiving a passionate love letter in Helvetica. It's clean, it's neutral, it's perfect. But would it make your heart race?
Oh, she looks so confident up there today.
Yesterday, I left thinking if she can nail the delivery, she is going to be a top contender for me.
Yeah.
The shape of words influences how we feel, what we trust, and how we move through the world, often before our brain reads a single word. When I design letter forms, I'm always aware of the messages hiding in their shape. Every curve, every angle carries meaning. We all share certain visual associations, even without realizing. We read geometry, squares, circles, triangles as rational and objective. It's why sans serif letters feel clean, efficient, modern, something Helvetica does very well, and Ted's logo as well. We read handwriting as human and warm.
Her talk is one that I love because it's something that after you hear her, you cannot see the world the same.
I can draw the word love so that it feels airy and spontaneous, or heavy and passionate, the kind your friends warn you about. And it goes way beyond the style. Look at this hand-painted bakery sign in Paris. Soft curves, tiny imperfections. You think warm, human. You just know that bread is good. Look at this, sharp angles, all caps. Your body knows instantly, back off. two signs, two opposite feelings, delivered in a fraction of a second. Because every message has two voices, the words and the way they are shaped. And most of the time, the shape speaks first. The language of letter forms is everywhere, quietly shaping how we feel, what we trust, and how we understand the world. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Thank you.
Yes. Martina, you did so well. I'm so happy for her.
For me, what I love is like that this talk will change the way, we sort of move through the world, the way we see it and the way we look at letter forms and hopefully the decisions we make when we use them. For me, the question is, as beautiful as this is this idea big enough compared to some of the other talks?
I'm feeling amazing. I think it went great. And I feel it all in all my body, like all throughout my body. So, yeah.
Next up, we're going to hear from Alejandro talking about remote medicine, but then he also brings in music and the importance of humanity. First rehearsal we had together, he did a beautiful job, but then in the dress rehearsal for the stage, one of the keys got stuck on his instrument and it made it sound out of tune. Hopefully that's not going to happen today, and he delivers it like he did in rehearsal, which I think did land really well.
Yeah, that would be super unfortunate.
As a surgeon, today, I can operate with the help of a robot through a console, a system where distance no longer defines the quality of care. With this system, a small surgeon from a small town can potentially partner with an expert hundreds or thousands of miles away, and together perform a complex surgery as one team. But let's pause for a moment. Let me show you one of the robotic arms. The tip is really delicate, very precise. It can rotate in many directions, it's soft, it's tireless, but it cannot feel. I can't sense the pressure at the end of the instrument. I need to rely only on my vision. And feelings, both haptic and emotional, are essential for healing. Just imagine what would happen if I would ask the robot to play Adios Nonino. Bear with me in this one, because it's the biggest challenge we've given the robot so far. Those were the right notes, but you were not impressed, were you?
That really lands, because that doesn't sound like music you want to listen to.
Robots are already assisting us with the hardest parts of surgery. But for now, and for a long while, they won't be able to replace that connection that heals. So yes, let's use technology to bridge distance. But let's also make sure that we build international empathic teams, surgeons or any other profession that's been expanded remotely by AI or robotics, to share across borders, but not just data, also trust, compassion, and humanity. Because every note is important, but it's the chord, the collaboration that makes us a community. And the rhythm and flow, that's what makes us human.
Oh no, I think the key is stuck like it was yesterday. This is that same sound it made when the key got stuck. No. heartbroken about this for him because, you know, do you remember when he played it in rehearsal and the time this did not happen, he was like one with the music and you could just see the feeling and you could feel it, and he's got to be just dying right now.
One key got stuck in the bandoneon, and then it's like, you know, having a note that doesn't belong and needed to adapt. Had not it been for that little key, it would have been an amazing performance.
A good metaphor can be a really, really great storytelling device. But when you only have 6 minutes, it just can sometimes feel like you're packing so much into one talk.
With the show's finale coming to an end, the audience steps away, considering which performance they think stole the stage.
I thought the event was really mind-blowing. I mean, I've been to TED Talks, but this was even a level higher up.
It seems really well curated. Like, there were no overlaps, and all the talks were amazing.
Nice ideas, original ideas that are from Argentinians, but could really apply to all around the world.
Yael was my favorite. She speaks from her heart, and she looks like so natural.
Alejandro Niponice that talk about surgery and sensitivity and how we are humans and we can also work with robots was an amazing idea.
He also played the bandoneon, and so the comparison, the analogy between medicine and the human touch with the bandoneon was really enjoyable.
Well, I like very much of the polarization of politics of Joaquin Navajas.
Yael, she was so clear and so powerful.
Joaquin, because the issue of the value of polarization, besides all the negative parts of polarization, is that conflict is reviving democracy.
I would pick Yael, the girl who spoke about, you know, this conflict resolution through social media.
But it's the TED panel who must decide which idea and speaker will go on to take the TED main stage.
Incredible, wasn't it?
Let's bring them all to Vancouver.
I so agree.
Every speaker was just the top of the top.
They were incredible today.
Oh, they were. And you guys, we have a decision to make, and it is not going to be easy. Okay, Joaquin.
Joaquin is viral material on a YouTube end.
Your eyes are on fire.
I just love his talk. Like, I think polarization is such a word that like is thrown around so often, and it always has this negative connotation.
Yeah. The interesting thing is it has deep science behind it. He tells it in a very compelling way.
You can imagine this talk really sparking discussion. I wonder if the 6-minute talk included enough science to really get him over the finish line here.
That's a good concern. That's a good concern.
Martina Flor. Love her.
You left her. Yeah, we left her. We all left her.
I mean, she improved so much from rehearsal yesterday, where yesterday she was like, you could tell she was nervous.
Yeah.
And today it was like,
it went very smoothly.
It went so smoothly, and she had so many slides to click through. Like, that's hard.
You see the world in a different way after listening to her talk.
My question is this idea big enough?
I am not sure.
So Alejandro, you guys.
He's good. He's great, and the instrument is amazing.
It got stuck. It got stuck during his performance. I wonder on this one if it was too much to try to fit into 6 minutes again.
Maybe.
You know, this is
Yeah.
Yael.
What a performance. What a
delivery.
Yeah, delivery was perfect.
Yeah.
The idea of memes as a diplomatic channel, I think, is incredible. And I think she can bring a young perspective to a hard topic.
Maybe they don't say explicitly what her idea was, but I think a lot of young people kind of know what she was talking about. So I wonder if this is a new idea to everyone.
Well, guys, that was tough, but I think we've made our decision.
I think we have.
Should we go tell them?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Deliberation complete and decision made. And for one lucky speaker, their lives are about to be changed forever.
Speakers, Congratulations, because y'all just did something so huge. Huge congratulations to all of you. The audience loved every second of it, as I think you all could tell. I mean, people were very, very, very into each and every one of these talks.
Even though one person goes to Vancouver, each and every one of your talks is going to find its audience online. We will make sure it is spread because every single one deserves to be heard and deserves the biggest audience.
But we did have to choose just one person who will go on to take the main stage at TED in Vancouver. And the winner is Joaquin!
I'm surprised. It's like a salad of emotions. I don't really know how to express it, but overjoyed.
His work shows us a totally new way of thinking about polarization. I could not be more excited for him as the winner.
His talk to me is something I truly want to spread. You know, I think everyone needs to hear that message.
Joaquin's talk could start conversation in the better way possible.
Sometimes academics, we stay kind of like in a bubble, but now I have an amazing opportunity to break that bubble and try to spread my idea.
With Joaquin winning the opportunity of a lifetime and a spot on the TED main stage, the curtain finally falls on our time here in Buenos Aires. But the TED Idea Search continues. Next time, we arrive in a city where history and modern thinking meet. Our final destination, Amman.
It's just so exciting. Everything in my life has led me to this moment.
Ooh, see, I forgot this. I feel really nervous for them. They're a mirror into the deep inequalities shaping our world.
Sorry, emotional again.
It is wild out there.
How am I gonna go through life again? How am I gonna move forward?
I died.
I died!
Oh.
God.